Hello, everyone, and welcome. We're so excited that you are here with us and joining us for our R.I.S.E workshop. This is going to be a lot of fun, a lot of great information for you, and it's going to be easy steps that you can do to help grow and thrive as a woman of God. So, what is R.I.S.E? Let's get right into this. Okay, well, I should have had it on that one, right? Welcome to R.I.S.E. What we're going to do today is we're going to be doing a workshop to teach you 4 key steps that you can actually use to help yourself every day as you grow, as you stretch, as you learn as a woman of God. Now, keep in mind, R.I.S.E is all about building you up to be the woman of God that God wants you to be, not so much the person we think we need to be. So what's my story? Everybody always asks me, well, what qualifies you to tell me I can rise above? Or what qualifies you to tell me that you think I can thrive? You don't know my story. Well, let me tell you mine. I'll give you the brief rundown and not the big old details, right? Because we could be here all day if I told you my life. So anyhow, I grew up in a place where my mom wasn't well. She had some issues mentally, and we believe it was bipolar. So a lot of her behaviors and actions weren't directed towards me. I think it was part of her issues physically. But I also knew that I was a bad memory of a mistake that she made and a lie that she was living. You see, I was an oops baby. My mom was married to one guy, had an affair with another, and there you go. Every time she'd see me, I was an oops. So I dealt with a lot of physical, emotional, and just different kinds of abuse growing up, and then also with folks that I dated. My mom told me I was stupid, fat, and ugly growing up. Told me I wouldn't amount to anything. Why wasn't I like my friends? She would super glue my car locks, cut up my clothes, leave death threat notes, and all kinds of crazy stuff. Did you ever like, and that's your mom? But understand that she also, we believe, was bipolar, unmedicated, because it wasn't diagnosed then. But a lot of what happened is my situation growing up was because I looked very much like my birth father in the features. And it was a constant reminder to her of a lie she was living, because she didn't tell anybody. My dad that raised me knew, but nobody else knew until I found out when I was 30. Well, then I stepped into 3 relationships as a young lady, all 3 abusive, physically, emotionally, and verbally, beaten black and blue. I stepped out of those when I found Christ, accepted the Lord, and moved into a place of, I'm done with anybody. It's just going to be me. I'm going to work my way up, and I don't need anybody else in my life. And God showed me a friend that actually allowed me to be treated like a queen and being taken care of, because otherwise I never would have married Greg. I would have stayed single, pursuing my career, doing my thing. Well, along the journey in between accepting the Lord and today has been a bumpy road. I have been diagnosed 30 years ago with ovarian cancer. Through faith and prayer, God has healed that, which was totally amazing. Then we get into, financial demise. My husband and I built up and worked very hard to create just a good life, residual income. We had reserves. Everything was great. And then about 12 years ago, everything crashed around us. We lost everything and had to start over. Then, at the age of 48, God thought it would be a great idea to uproot me from Southern California, that I was born and raised native, and move me all the way to the East Coast to South Carolina, where I knew nobody. I moved out here the second part of my life not knowing anyone, and just hung out here and cried and prayed and hoped that one day maybe I can make friends here too. And that's a whole different story, because what we find today is people are so busy being busy that friendships aren't what we are used to if we grew up a long time ago. We're not going to say how long ago, right? But you see, I've come through different things, from abuse emotionally, physically, verbally, to health issues, to financial issues, to being 38 years old and thinking I'm never going to get married, until God revealed Greg to me and brought me an amazing husband. So see, girls, I can say we were meant to thrive because I've been through stuff. Now, I know some of you may be going through things. Maybe you're going through a divorce, or maybe you've lost a child. Those things I can't attest to, but I've been around people who have, and they've been built up to a point of thriving in their life too. So nobody can say, you don't know my situation, I can't thrive. Because, girls, every one of us can do the impossible with Jesus Christ. So let's get going here. What is R.I.S.E? Oh, this has been a gift that God has given me to share with you and just change your life. And I'm hoping these 4 steps will do so today. R.I.S.E is all about refreshing you, inspiring you, supporting you, and encouraging you. These are 4 key components to help a woman of God thrive and stand there and move ahead of everyday life. So many of us are just getting by. We're barely surviving. We don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. We come home exhausted and wiped out. We're depressed. We're anxious. These are all things that are not of God. But we have to know how to get through them in order to rise above our everyday life. Today we're going to cover 4 simple steps so that you in your personal life can rise above anything right where you're at. God doesn't tell us we have to get all cleaned up and gussied up and get the hair and makeup going if we're going to be able to rise above it. God meets us where we're at, girls. And that's where we need to come together and meet where we're at and build you up right where you are, because that's where you're going to make the biggest steps. Because if you had to be perfect and have everything in order, we're not going to get there. And that's something we're talking about on a weekly basis right now, is identifying perfection in our lives. And where are we struggling to make sure that perfection is there where we can't attain that? We set our goals and our standards so high that we just let ourselves down. We set ourselves up to fail because we are so hard on ourselves. We show more grace to others around us than we'll ever show to ourselves. And I say that because I'm right there with you. I am so critical of who I am and what I do that my husband shakes his head sometimes and says, honey, you need to relax. So why is this important? And that's the question everybody wants to know. Why is it important that I rise above? Why should I care? You see, God designed us to thrive, not just survive. And in Ezekiel, let's see, in chapter 16, verse 7, he says he made us to thrive like the plants in the field, and you grew and matured and became very beautiful. God didn't design for us to struggle, and yet we choose to stay in that place of struggle. We choose to take things and make them priorities that are not really a priority in our life. We choose to be where we're at. Now, ask yourself one thing. I want to take you on a journey today. Can you imagine ending a day, a busy day, a crazy day, where your to-do list is long, you feel overwhelmed, you've got so much to do, you just possibly are not sure how it's going to happen. Or maybe you've got some big decisions to make. that you know at the end of the day typically is going to wipe you out, stress you out, and you're going to pass out in a chair and have the most unrestful sleep you ever had. But what if you could end your day like you just spent the day at the spa? I love the word spa. It's kind of like, right? So what if you spent the day at the spa? You got a nice massage. You got your hair done. You got your nails done. Maybe you did a facial. You sipped on some beautiful green tea that they might be serving. Or maybe they served you a mimosa and a little brunch, a green salad and some fruit. What if your day could end with that same feeling that you got if you were pampered during the day? Refreshed, encouraged, and inspired. You see, too many women today, like you and I, spend our day in a whirlwind, spinning and spinning and not being able to keep up with things. And we're just hoping and praying that we can make it to bedtime. I just want to get to that bed and go to sleep. If I put this day behind me, it'll be better. But the problem, girls, is that spinning and that whirlwind doesn't end the next day because we've not made the choices to rise above the chaos and the craziness that today's lifestyles are putting us in. Girls, God wants more for you than that. But the question is, do you? Are you a woman of God that really wants to rise above, that you don't want to live in a whirlwind anymore? You're tired of the chaos. You know the day's going to be crazy, but it doesn't have to drain you of everything that you have in you. You feel alone. You feel like you're not going to make it through the day. You want to quit. You want to throw your hands up in the air and walk away. Oh, girls, there's many times I've said, I just want to go to a deserted island. Just take me, my dogs, and my husband, and just go sit. But that's not the answer. We have to deal with our life. We have to be present in it. But the key is we have to make the right choices so we can rise above. So how do you go from crazy and frazzled to calm and blessed? That's what you want to know. You're sitting there going, this all sounds lovely, Robin. Thank you very much. But how do I get there? What is it I'm missing in my life that I can't seem to get to that calm and blessed stage? I end my days crazy and frazzled. Are you ready? 4 steps to abundant, inspired living. That's what we're going to talk about today. It is very simple. They are very easy to do. But you have to want to do it. Because, see, girls, what I do know is we tend to go back to those behaviors and those lifestyles that we knew before because it's all we knew. When we're operating alone out there, we get stuck. We don't know how to shift and turn 180 degrees to change what's happening in our life. So what do? We repeat it. And the next day is just the same as the day before. And we could almost guess that the next 4 days are going to end up the same way. It's time to change it. It's time to say, stop. I deserve something better. I want something better in my life. I want my life to look like the phony ones that are on Facebook. And I say that because you know what? Most people on Facebook don't print what's really going on in their life. You see, I'm somebody who's very transparent. If my day stinks, I'm going to say it stinks. But the benefit I have is I've chosen these 4 steps to apply to my life every day. And I live in a calm and blessed atmosphere because of my choices. Doesn't mean I have a good day every day, but I make the choices to live there. So let's jump right in. Step number 1, refresh. Oh, what does refresh mean? Pause. Hit that pause button. Oh, girls, I did go there, right? That means you have to pause during the day. You have to make a conscious choice to stop and pause. We are so crazy busy these days. I don't know how we got to this point in our life. Because growing up, we weren't this crazy. But I think what's happened is our digital age has caused us to disconnect from people, causing more stress and more overcommitting to everything in our life. Did you know you don't have to do everything? Did you know that your children don't have to be involved in every single thing and they'll still turn out okay? You see, when I grew up, we didn't do every single thing out there. We chose those things that we were passionate about, and that's what we did. Because trust me, there was plenty to do, even without technology, even without the cell phones. There was plenty to get involved in. But we have to pause. Even God rested. So if our example in life is God, then who are we to be nonstop 7 days a week, 24 hours a day? Do we think we are superheroes above God, that we don't have to pause? That's a hard question to ask, because God himself rested. He worked hard, and then he rested. He worked hard, and then he rested. And that's the example we should be following. Your benefits of pausing. Why would I want to pause? That means my list won't get done. I'll be missing out on stuff. I can't get everything done if I pause. Let me tell you these 5 steps. Your stress levels will drop. If you stop and pause, and even if it's 5 minutes, girls, and breathe deep through your nose and out through your mouth, and I've had several girls do this, it actually can lower your blood pressure. Because see what happens, we get going so fast in life that we're not breathing and calming down. All we know is what's next. How do we go to next? What do we do? What do we do? How do we get there? And that's what we sound like when we talk to people. Number 2, an attitude adjustment. Oh, girls, how many of you are cranky? How many of you just kind of get snippy? Okay, that's because we're not pausing. We are so busy in our head that our head and our mouth are not working together, and we snap at people. If you pause, you also get more accomplished in a day. Imagine that. Whether you pause in the morning or you pause in the afternoon or you pause before bed, you will get more accomplished. See, I teach the girls that what we need to do is at least 30 minutes, if not an hour, before bedtime, all electronics are shut off. No iPads in the bedroom, no cell phones in the bedroom, no Facebooking when you go to bed. Shut them off. Because what happens is that blue glow off of your monitor stimulates the brain and will keep you awake. You will either have really bad sleep or not able to sleep at all. You become healthier overall because our bodies weren't meant to be nonstop. It's just like a car. You've got to stop and put gas in it and change the oil or it will burn out. And so will you. And number 5, and our spouses love this, we are happier at home. Nothing is worse for a man to come home to his wife and she's cranky and bitter and snappy. And that happens when we're so busy being busy. We really have to pause. That means we have to stop what we're doing for a moment and reflect. Because see, if we can pause and refresh during our day, all of these things will change. Different ways to take a refreshing pause is going to be taking deep breaths, like I mentioned. Take a short walk. Sit on the back porch. Drink a glass of water. Or worship to a worship song on YouTube or whatever, iTunes, whatever you might be using. Those are 5 really quick, refreshing pauses that are beneficial to our life. Which one do you do? Mix them up, but pause. Step 2, inspire. We need to be inspired daily. You see, because what happens with all of the crazy negative news, media, social media, people's attitudes, people's words, we have to stop and replace that crap with something inspiring. To inspire means to encourage, motivate, influence, energize, awaken, or ignite. We need to be inspired daily. Oh, look at that. We need to be inspired daily. So what inspires you? See, because what I do know is we have to replace all of that crazy stuff with something to inspire us. Basically an attitude adjustment, mindset shift every day. What inspires you? What helps you to have a mindset shift, to have a mindset reset? Sources of inspiration, your Bible. Great place to get inspiration. Open it up, pick a verse, go through the Proverbs, go through the Psalms. Find the verses that inspire you. Write them down on note cards. Put them up everywhere. Worship music. Oh my gosh, girls. There's days that I am so overwhelmed and maybe the constant barrage of attacks from people has just driven me crazy. I will turn on a worship song and be lifted up, filled with energy, ready to go, all from a song. The power in music is indescribable. And a supportive group of like-minded women. They can inspire you, but they have to be like-minded. Nothing is worse than you being in a group of women, and I've seen this, where you all get together and you're supposed to be inspiring and building each other up, and all it is a gossip fest. Or if you're setting out, and I saw this with a group I saw about a week ago out, the girls were all sitting around the table, and some guy walked in, bodybuilder with tank top, and all the girls are just, I don't know what to call it, catcalling? But they were acting just inappropriately for married women. Oh, yes, they were married. They all had rings. And they were, previous to the catcalling, complaining about their husbands. Supportive group of like-minded women. And that is critical. Step 3 is a solid support system. You've got to do this with help. See, because God didn't make us to be an island, ladies. God designed us as relational beings. But for some reason, we still try to do it alone. We hide our emotions. We hide our feelings. And we sit there and act like we have nobody, but yet we're not willing to get plugged in. God did not design us to be alone. Bible tells us in Hebrews 10:24-25, and let us consider how to stir up one another to love and good works, not neglecting to meet together, as is the habit of some, but encouraging one another, and all the more as you see the day drawing near. God wants us to get together. God wants us to build each other up. I see so many times out there, ladies, that women come together and they attack each other. A really good example was the beautiful gymnast that won all the medals, the young black girl. I'm shocked at the amount of medals she won. She is amazing. But all the ladies could say was, I can't believe you didn't do your hair. Really? We're supposed to be building each other up, girls. Not judging each other for their appearance. Not making fun of them behind their back. Not excluding them because they've got a little quirk about them. It's about coming together and building each other up. You see, sometimes we find ourselves alone, and it may be because our family is just not on the same page as we are, or perhaps you were hurt by other women. And I know that resonates with most of the ladies. But see, I'm going to tell you a story. My Mexican food story. I know it's lunchtime and I'm talking food. Oh, Lordy, I need to go eat, right? So, here's my story. You go to a Mexican restaurant and you order some beautiful, what you thought would be tacos. The service is horrible. Takes them forever to get to the table. They bring you the wrong drinks. The food is just nasty. Maybe the carne asada is burnt. There's no flavor in the guacamole. The tea is already turned and it's bitter. Then to top it off, the food is cold. They dropped cold food in front of you and you were just craving. You could taste those carne asada tacos. But then they never come back to the table. They drop the check and walk away. So you've had a bad experience at this Mexican restaurant. And I only say that because I'd love to go for, delicious carne asada tacos. Yum. But you go, right? And you're sitting there and you're like, this experience is horrible. The service is bad. The food is horrible. They don't come back to the table to check on me. I quit eating Mexican food. Is that what you say? Or do you just go find another Mexican restaurant? Or perhaps give them a second shot. Maybe it was a bad day. Girls, you know we all have them, but we're so quick to jump on the person that might be having the bad day. We need to show grace. So with this, how does that possibly relate to getting together with other women that may have hurt me? Not all women are going to hurt you. And what I want to challenge you with today is that you open up and be willing to plug in. Don't judge your past experience with other women with a current experience with possible new connections. Girls, if I did that, I would be an island on my own because people are mean, people are nasty, but not all of them. It's just like when I look at the 3 guys that I dated as a young lady. If I based my opinion of men on those 3, I would still be single. But I knew God had something so much better. And I have the most amazing husband. Everything isn't perfect all the time, but my husband is amazing. He is there. He is supportive. And we like each other. Ooh. So, but seriously, girls, you've got to plug into other women. And it needs to be women The Bible tells us that women mentor women and men mentor men. And I know a lot of girls out there that, I only have male friends. But you really need to be accountable with other women. And accountability is hard. But if you plug in to the right support system, you will be amazed at how much you grow, how much life is easier, and you will be able to rise above. Your strong support system needs to encourage you, build you up. They need to mentor you through situations, which means if you need correction, you get corrected and you receive it. Because the Bible is about building us up, but it also corrects us. So we've got to understand there's a balance there. And your support system should never judge you. Because, see, what has to happen is we have to be willing to open up. We have to be willing to be honest. And if you're in a situation where you're being judged or attacked, then you're in the wrong place. Bible study groups can be a great place to start. However, not always the best place to totally open up. And a lot of that happens because, people gossip in those groups and they end up back. But you've got to have a group leader that is of the utmost integrity and is not going to sit there and take your personal business and tell everybody else. Because you have to open up. You must be willing to be transparent in a mentoring relationship. Because, see, the issue is that if we come in to a mentoring relationship and we aren't willing to open up, your mentor cannot help you because they're not psychic. They can't read your mind. We have to get to a place in these support groups that we feel comfortable and that we feel okay with being transparent. We have to know and not be afraid of being judged. Because the sad part is, in some of these groups, girls, when they're judging you, they've actually already been there. And most of them are judging you because they're being convicted. But find a group that allows you to be transparent and grow. All right. Step 4. Oh, this is so exciting. Encouragement. Ladies, encouragement is something we must have every day. There is so much coming at us, girls, that we've got to find ways to build each other up. The definition of encouragement, the action of giving someone support, confidence, or hope. Who in your life is doing that for you? Girls, we're going to all struggle. We're going to all have times that we need to be built up. And encouragement that is sincere is so important, especially when we're struggling to make it through the day. It has to be sincere. It has to come from the leader's heart, your mentor's heart. It has to from their heart. And it's usually, when we talk about encouraging, when it comes from the heart, your leader or your mentor is going to be praying for you on a regular basis. God's going to be revealing to her what you may need. And what I've always loved when I'm mentoring and working with a gal, when I'm sharing, we're meeting and we're talking, and all of a sudden I give them an answer to something that they're like, oh, crap, how do you know? Because God speaks. Those are the people you want plugging into you. So again, encouragement should be sincere. We need to be encouraged. However, we need guidance and correction. Understand that mentoring doesn't always mean that we pat you on the back saying, good job, go, go, go. Sometimes your mentor needs to say, what are you doing? Because we're human. We're going to make mistakes. You know, if we get caught in a mindset of just being overwhelmed and just crazy stuff going on, sometimes we need that mentor to say, hey, stop it. But we have to receive that too. And nobody likes to be corrected. But it's like the Bible tells us that the correction for the moment hurts, but the end reward is a fruit that is so amazing. Oh, girls, I don't like to be corrected by my mentors. But I understand the concept of it. So when they do correct me, I know that God has something better. I may not see it in the moment, but I trust the mentors that I bring into my life. I know that they're not going to guide me the wrong way. I know that they are investing in me, and that's amazing. It is really hard to rise above every day if we do not have the resources that we need in our life. Because, see, girls, we are not an island. We are not just push a button and fix it. Sometimes we just need a shoulder, somebody to sit there with us and guide us. Because what happens is we get so caught up in our craziness that we're not able to refresh. We're not able to find inspiration. We're not able to encourage ourselves, let alone anybody else. So many women today are not getting the support they need in their home, in their church group, and they need so much more. So many women are feeling isolated and doing this thing they call life on their own, wondering, how do I end this crazy cycle? And many times they throw their hands up in the air and say, I quit. I don't want to do this no more. And that's where we see marriages fall apart. We see ministries crumble. We see businesses fall apart. And in some cases, we see people ending their lives unnecessarily. We've got to start developing support systems that are going to be strong to build you up. And that is why God gave me the vision to create R.I.S.E just for you. What is R.I.S E? R.I.S E is a virtual community of women just like you and I who are tired of just getting by and or just looking for a solid support system with mentoring from someone who truly cares about you. Oh, see, I went ahead of my slides again. Look at that. So basically, you're tired of getting by each day, you're seeking solid support system, and you want mentoring from someone who cares about you, who will invest in you, not just see you as a number, but really invest in you. R.I.S.E is all about creating a refreshing space for you, inspiring you daily, supporting you without any judgment, and encouraging you in your calling, gifts, and daily life. So what happens in R.I.S E? because I know we've been talking about launching this for the past month and a half. What happens in R.I.S.E? Monday mentoring. It'll be a live call every Monday as a group. Daily inspiration. We will have a Facebook private group. There'll be emails that go out weekly, and that is all about you, focusing on your needs. What is the investment? R.I.S.E is a membership-based group. It's a mentoring program, and your investment in the group is only $27 a month. That is less than $1 a day for a strong support community. So for $27 a month, you can create that safe space that all of us truly desire to have with a mentor, me, who really cares about you. And if y'all follow me in Cafe Thrive, you know I care about you. We come together every day there. But I'm ready to take it to the next level with a handful of you that are ready to really commit and invest in yourself, that you're tired of the crazy and chaos, that you really want to have that peace, that calm that God has for you as a group. So I had a question asked of me, and they said, well, why are you charging for this? And my response is, you know what? If we invest, put a little skin in the game, we are more likely to show up and benefit from anything we do. Because what I know for a fact is that when you get free stuff, you tend to take it like free stuff. You kind of do it halfway. You don't show up all the time. You don't really apply it to your life. It's kind of an afterthought. But if you invest a small amount each month, you will see your life changing because you will show up. You will participate, and your life will change. I have mentored so many women that have come from broken and despair lifestyles into thriving women. And it's not that Robin's doing it. Because God is so real in my life, I am able to harness the power that He gives me to help other women. God has called me to reach you. He doesn't want to see us just surviving. God wants us to thrive. He wants, you know what He wants from us girls? He wants for you and I to thrive, and then in turn we turn around and empower the next person, and it becomes this domino effect. Because I can't change the world, but if I can impact one life, that can go impact another, to impact another, to impact another, that's what this is about. I want to create a safe place for you to come with your burdens, with your hurts, with your needs. Be transparent and be built up as a woman of God. Everybody gives bonuses when they sign up a new program, right? Well, I'm going to. 2 bonuses for you. If you sign up by midnight tonight by going to robinhardy.net/rise, R-I-S-E, you will get a 30-minute one-on-one phone mentoring session with me. What that would be is that's going to be you and I getting together on the phone, looking at your plan, what is your goals, what do you want to accomplish, because then I'm going to cater things in the group around you. I'm going to make sure you're taken care of in this process. You are not a number to me. Trust me, girls, I have supported 7-figure coaches that build these group programs, and you're a number. I really don't want us to be that. I want us to be intentional in what we're doing and focused to see you grow and rise and thrive. And I want to see you be able to start taking that and giving it back out. Because if we hold it all in, it's what they call spiritual constipation. Yeah. Okay, we're not going to do that. We are going to build up. We are going to thrive. We're going to rise above. And then we're going to take that and give it to other women so that they can do the same thing. I'm also going to give you a copy of my edited Bible study, A Time to Thrive. It is a 30-day study that goes into really exploring who you are as a woman of God. Helps you identify what areas in your life you need to work on. But that's if you register by midnight tonight. We're going to get you both of those. I'll send you an email to set up the 30-minute one-on-one. And it's going to be a very laser-focused time with you, because I really believe that we can get this together as a group. Because I'm going to tell you this much. Whatever you're struggling with, I guarantee at least 2 or 3 others on the call today are struggling in the same area. But we can come together, build each other up, and get you some answers. Give you a place that's safe, where you can be transparent and take that mask off. And if your life sucks today, that you're okay to say that here. If there's something you're struggling with, it's okay to say, I'm struggling, with no judgment attached. This is all about you. Again, your investment is only $27 per month. That's less than $1 a day to be built up, be encouraged, and be mentored. Now, you're not getting me one-on-one, but you're pretty darn close in the group, because I will be the one responding to everything there, not somebody else that I've hired. I want to make sure that it's me touching you, because I believe that it needs to be personal. So I invite you today to join us for an amazing community of Christian women who want what you do, to thrive and not just survive, and rise above our daily grinds. We want to be able to hold up our heads and walk there and know that we are God's daughters, precious in His sight. You're the daughter of a king. Better than that, you're the daughter of the King of Kings, Lord of Lords. What more could you ask for? So again, to register, you want to go to robinhardy.net/rise, R-I-S-E. And you have it, you can register whenever you want, but for the bonuses need to be by midnight tonight so that we can come together and rise above everyday life. So I hope you can use those 4 steps I gave you, apply them to your life, at least start there. And then when you're ready to put yourself into a community of solid Christian women that are going to build each other up, then hop on over and join us in Rise. So that's all I have for you girls today, but let's start applying those 4 steps today. You can do it. I know you can. All right, girls, you know I love you. And if there's any questions, email me at robin@robinhardy.net, and I'll gladly answer your questions. All right, girls, have a fabulous day, and we will talk soon. Bye-bye.